Let's do it. Uh, uh, uh. I really think we need a turntable in the studio. For, for sure. Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Virginia, and Craig's Crown Cutz, downtown JC. Spreading love the Tri-City way is one way, but spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. With my co-host himself,
Jordan Barr from Bristol, Tennessee. J Barber on Instagram. Give your boy a like and a follow. Or not a like, but whatever. Give you a follow on Instagram.
Do what it do.
We're thinking I got a YouTube.
Our co-host Emma, he's out for the day, but he's here in spirit. He's in the background taking care of some business. But we're going to make it do what it do. Again, spreading love across the region. Barber College Success, a platform where we educate, we drop gems, and just inspire the next barber to get on their journey, to do their thing, because this wonderful industry of ours, it is so much love if you invest into it. You got to put in what you want to get out. But today, we got a special guest all the way from, I'll let her introduce herself and tell her where she's from, and we're going to jump into this podcast. We're going to hear your story. Let's go.
Yate. Hello. I'm Raquel Henry, a.k.a. Res Kid the Barber. I am from the Navajo Nation, and I reside in Texas now. My Instagram is REZKID_THE Barber.
Big. And what you say you're from the what reservation?
The Navajo Nation.
That's big. So give us a little description of that. Tell us what that is, because, this is your day. This is going to be your story, because, again, we have barbers from all different platforms, and you're going to inspire someone today.
Yes. Okay. Well, the Navajo Nation is probably about maybe 400,000 people. It connects with New Mexico, Arizona, a little part of Colorado, a little part of Utah. And the town I'm from it's called Crown Point, which is like 2,000-3,000 people. And the reason why I became a barber was because I remember when I was 12 or 13, I seen my father had the manual clippers. And I seen him
like a pliers. You thought he was using the pliers.
Yeah, I see him like this. And I would see him cut my grandfather's hair. So I would just watch him cut his hair, but he asked me, can you help me? I was like, okay. So I went over there, and he's telling me, do it like this. And then I'm over there like cutting his hair. But after that, I just loved it. Like, this is fun.
You found your why. That's what we talk about on the show. What is your why? Yeah. What is your passion? What is going to take you onto this next level of a career path? What is going to make you feel happy when you're doing something and you don't work a day in your life? And that's what it is. 12, 13, that's important. And your dad knew what he was doing. I mean, he was introducing you to something to make it, just kind of make it fun for you. Because when we make learning fun again, that's when we're interested. That is big. That is big. So today it's going to be all about you, because we're doing a series. It's student stories and barber stories. And today we got a barber story. So tell us your full name, Raquel, and how long you've been in the industry, how long you've got your license, and we can go from there.
My name is Raquel J. Henry. I'm still in school right now.
Okay.
I go to Papito Bless Hands Barber Beauty and Academy.
Oh, okay. I know who Barber Bless Hands is. He's a good barber. Very good barber.
Yes, he is a good barber. And the first time I seen him was 2 years ago at the BarberCon in Austin. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I went there was to go see Sophie Stay Gold.
Yes. That was an amazing barber.
Yes. Like, she inspired me to go for it, because I have not seen a lot of females up there like her. Like, the first time I saw her was, say, a few years ago. I didn't know nothing about barbering. Like all I
And
knew was
we embrace women barbers because I think women barbers add a unique perspective to our industry.
yeah,
I love when women say they want to be barbers. It's just something like, okay, come into the stray, come into our side. I mean, come in and you guys add so much. You guys are gems for our industry. So I love when a female says she's coming into this industry. I know it's a male dominated field, but hey, we welcome you guys.
Mm.
Salute,
I know
salute.
some tough female barbers. One of my favorite barbers is actually a female, Nicole Renee. I don't know
oh
if you know Nicole.
yes, yes,
Yes, she is so good. So good.
And it's ironic because we have a student, she's a female barber, and she graduated about 2 years ago, right, Raquel? And
mm.
her name, she was trying to come up with a barber name. And you will not believe what her barber name is.
What is it?
You just said it.
Oh,
Her name,
yes.
no, her name is, we were sitting there coming up and trying to contemplate a name, and her barber name is Blessed Hands Tish.
Left hand.
Oh, okay.
And look her up, follow her. She's from Morristown, Tennessee. And Tish is stone cold too, man. Tish is stone cold barber. Look at her work, and you'll be like, ooh, she is
Okay.
and she's one of the barbers where you look and she like, are you a barber? But when her work tells her whole story. She's real quiet, but she swing those clippers and hey, like a mean stick. Ooh, yes, sir.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's important for women to come in this industry, and that's what this podcast is about. Hopefully, you'll inspire someone and let them know, hey, let's kick this door in. This is a male-dominated field, but we coming in hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
When I was growing up, like in my middle school years, I always had a lot of guys talk crap about me because I was a female.
Hmm.
Cutting hair. They would be like, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that," and come to say, I proved them wrong.
That's good. I mean, there is a stigma because a lot of times guys go in the shop and they'll be like, "Can she cut?" You know what I mean? Instead of having
Yeah.
a formal conversation and getting to know the person, can she cut? Can you cut? And I'm like, just give them a chance. So when people come to school and they're like looking around for students, and I'm like, hey, she's cutting your hair. If you don't want her to cut your hair, you can go down the street. So I always empower the female barbers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's big. So when did you know you wanted to go to barber school? I know you said at 13 years old, you did your first haircut. When did you realize that this is something for you? And no, before that, right? Tell us what you did before you went to barber school. And then tell us what inspired you to become a barber.
Before barber school, I was working at a restaurant. I was a dishwasher for 3 years,
Hmm.
and well, during that time, I was getting my GED too,
Okay.
and like 6 plus years, that's when I met my wife, and I wasn't in the right space at that time because drugs and alcohol took a toll on me,
Hmm.
and I started to get myself together. And my wife, she pushed me because
That's big.
she knew how much I love barbering, cutting hair. Like I always had clippers with me, even from Walmart. I always had my Walmart clippers on me. Like back in the day, I didn't realize that you had to have certain kind of clippers, trimmers, and all of that.
Most of us start off like that. So you wasn't too far from all of us. We all came into the industry thinking that we just need one pair of clippers
Yeah,
to perform this surgery that we get ready to perform.
yeah, yeah, and that's until I started looking up Sophie. I was like, oh my gosh, she is so cool. She has tattoos. Like I have tattoos. Like, and she's a barber, and I want to be a barber. So she really inspired me to go for it.
And it's underestimated have a great support system in our group and our surrounding. Like you said, your wife was one of your biggest support system and
Yes.
propelled you to get to that next level, to become the barber. So was it a hard transition figuring out what you want to do or how did that come about? How did you, I know you said you was a dishwasher. How did that come about and you just clicked one day and said, you know what, I want to be a barber?
Um, I was struggling emotionally, mentally during that time, and I was trying to figure out like what am I gonna do with my life because dishwashing, like I knew it wasn't meant for me. I was like, I am capable of doing more than this. And so I kept thinking and thinking. I was like, I love cutting hair. And then so I went to a barber school to, ask questions and everything. And what they told me was, you need your diploma or a GED, in which I didn't have it during that time.
Right.
So I enrolled to school and got my GED, but it took me 2 to 3 years. This was during the pandemic, so school was closed, and the teachers, they would send me here, so like I wasn't really
You was almost
learning.
you was almost getting discouraged.
Yes, yes, I was getting discouraged, and always back in my mind, like, I know I'm meant to do more. Like, I love barbering. I would tell my coworkers, "Hey, come to my house. I'll give you a haircut." Even before, when I was in high school and middle school, I would tell all the guys up there, "Come down. I'll give you a haircut." All my cousins, "Hey, let me give you a haircut. Let me give you a haircut." So
That's big.
I always had a passion for it.
It's
And
good that you wasn't afraid to ask people to let you cut their hair.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are. They don't like to ask, especially when they don't think they're like I say like a seasoned barber, or
yeah.
like you're just like getting into it. If you just getting into it, you're like, man, I gotta wait a couple months or like whatever until I feel like I'm nice enough to get people right.
Yeah.
But what people got to realize is that if you don't put yourself out there and get those reps in, it's going to take you longer to get better.
You're just going to
So,
delay that process.
Yeah, it's just going to take you a lot longer. So that took a lot of guts doing that, because that's something I did when I was in barber school too. So had to ask a lot of people. Had the confidence in yourself to know that you can hook them up.
And then some people are going to tell you, some people are going to look at you like, you're not ready yet. But it's okay. Don't get discouraged. As long as you have the fortitude to know that this is your why, this is your passion, and you keep going and saying, you know what, I'm going to ask that next person. I'm not going to let that one no determine and put me in a box and tell me I can't cut hair. It's okay. It's okay. And I do admire that as well. So now you got your GED, and how was the transition from deciding which barber school that you're going to go to?
Well, they had one when I was in Odessa. They had a barber school out there. So I went in, got some information, and that's when they told me that I needed my GED. So it took me a while to get my GED. And once I got it, I went back to that same school. And from there, like, I seen like the barber school was just all about money and their business. It seemed like they didn't really care about the people.
Right.
So then I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to stick with this school, because it was like the only school that was out there. And
this is in Odessa, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm pretty sure there's like 1 million barber schools out there in Texas.
Yeah, there was 2 schools, but the one I was wanting to go to, they see me before, and what he told me is, if you get your GED, then come back.
Right.
Which I did. Then next thing you know, they told me you don't have to have your GED. I was like, oh my goodness, I could have started a long time ago.
Right. I think most states now, they want you to be at least 16 years of age and have the equivalent of a 10th grade education, or if not your GED or whatever equivalency that is, and you can start, which I think is great, because it gives people opportunity just to kind of go out there and realize and have a sense of accomplishment, because you already feel like you have a sense of accomplishment if you don't have your GED, and it's just a bigger deterrent if you feel that's a roadblock and you need that to do every and anything. You know what I mean? And eventually, I do agree that everyone should go and get there some type of equivalent to a GED, because it's going to propel you. But if you can just get a start and just get a taste and see what it is, I mean, that helps too.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, I felt like I was stuck, and I didn't know what to do. So I was like, just waiting for my interview to come with that school. And then out of nowhere, my wife tells me that Papito has a school opening up.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I was like, oh yeah, Papito Bless Hands, the guy that we seen at Barber Con. Like when I seen him on stage, it was like, oh my God, this guy is so cool.
Right, right.
Like,
Big.
yes. And I got really interested in him, and I started following him on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And then
Shout out to Papito Blessed Hands. Shout out to
shout
you,
out.
brother.
And yeah, so my wife told me like he has school. So I kept begging her, be like, baby, like I want to go to that school. Like I really want to go because I know, like I believe in myself that I can become something. Like being with the right people and the right mindset and the success from them. Like I want to be up there like that. So
And I think it's important because most schools, for students, you need to feel a sense of community. If you go to a school and the only thing you learn from the school is just how to cut hair, I think you've been done a disservice because it's more than just cutting hair. It's about the overall person themselves. It's about mental health. It's about financial literacy. It's about just learning about domestic violence. It's about teaching someone to be a whole person so when they get their license and their certification and they finish with their hours, you presenting someone in this 2 hour industry who is a whole person. Because there's so many people who end up leaving school and not by fault, who just straight basically cutters. And they're doing themselves a disservice too. And it's not just the school, it's the individual students. So it's important to go somewhere where you feel like a sense of community, a sense of camaraderie, because we all are coming from different paths. We all have our own storytelling coming from different directions. And sometimes we just need someone to let us know that we care. We just need someone to let us know, hey, I'm ready to nurture you. I'm ready to teach you. I'm ready to be a mentor. I'm ready to also be a coach. And we just want to hear those words sometimes for some type of reassurance that we're on the right path.
yeah,
We have someone who's going to be there for us more than just learn the skill of how to do a fade.
yes,
And
sir.
surrounding yourself with other students that want to be great and be more than just haircutters also it's gonna take a toll on you, and it's gonna help you prepare yourself later on, and as you go on in school. It makes it a lot easier to stay concentrated because everybody's all wanting to be like great. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
just same thing. It's contagious.
Yep,
it is.
yep. How many hours are you in school right now?
I only been there for a month.
That's good. Do you know why that's so good, Raquel? Because there are a lot of people out there, right, who are wanting to start school, who have been in school in a month, and they need to hear your story. So, how was it going in this past month? How do you feel? How's it going?
Oh my gosh, I love school. I love it, and the people around me too. Like they want the same thing I do, and they like like if you need help, they're there to help you. Not like just brushing you off and like, oh, that's your own doing. But I like it that everyone comes together and help each other out, and we all strive for the same thing. And I learned a lot from that school.
That's
Like
big in
with
your first month.
yes, in that first month, like I learned so much,
There's
and
so much coming at you at times. You're like, it seems like,
yes,
which is good because
yes,
information at times is some people can take it and they get real frustrated, but some people could take it and understand that hey, it's a process and it's a growth.
Take it one step at a time. Just kind of like because when I was in the first month too, I would always ask a lot of questions,
yeah.
and I would ask so many questions that in my mind I'm kind of getting overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm trying to do too much, like at one time, I'm trying to learn too much
Okay,
at one time, and
yeah,
then as you go on, you just kind of like learn how to take tiny pieces of what everybody says or like what you see and kind of apply it to your own. Just kind of go at your own pace, and then you kind of perfect everything as you go. And then once you get out, you're gonna be not fully 100% ready, but you'll have at least 75% at least.
You'll
You feel
be
like you'll be able to do something. You know what I'm saying?
you'll be
yeah.
equipped to understand how to get from point A to point B, and after that, now it's just refining the skills, refining. So before you move on, give a shout out again to the name of the school and the address, so people who are in that area looking for a great barber school. And I mean, I think that's important. because you seem like you're in a happy space and you seem like you're doing real good. And those guys down there doing an awesome job. And I just want to congratulate them and give them a shout out because people need to know where these schools are at.
Shout out to Papito Bless Hands. And Mr. Woods is my other instructor also, and he's amazing also. And Papito Bless Hands, Barber Beauty Academy in Fort Worth, Texas.
Uh-huh. And
Um,
what's the address?
the address is sorry.
Papito's gonna be mad at you. You in school and you don't know the address.
I'm sorry. I have to use my my maps to get there.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "What, Raquel? You on this world stage across the world, all across the country, and you fumbling the bag on our address?"
Okay, it's 1809 West Berry Street, Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, great. So I assume you're a big Dallas fan down there. The Cowboys.
I am a Cardinals fan.
I respect it. I respect it. I don't like either one of them, but I respect it.
You kind of said that kind of soft because you know you're in Fort Worth, and you're like, I don't want nobody to hear me saying that.
Shut my mouth now.
But no, it's all good, man. But so what do you like about school right now?
I love the education, especially with the book, like learning about different hair types, different skin. Um, right now, we're learning about facials and shaving, which is fun. I love doing facials too, and I learned that with probably in a day doing facials.
See the important things that kind of makes me smile when I hear you talk. You are making learning so fun. You are enjoying the material, and you're not just studying or getting the information just to remember it. You're studying the information to make it part of you. You're studying the information to make it like, yes, I want this information so you can retain it. And that's the importance, and I like that.
Yes, I mean, I love it. I recommend people that are looking for a barber school in Texas to come see us, and we'll get, we are actually we are awesome people. Like
So
everyone.
when you told, have you told Papito he's come on this podcast today?
I told him that I was going on a podcast, but I told him that I'm going to have one today and hopefully them on the 15th.
Yes.
Yes.
What did he say to you? Did he give you any advice when you was coming on?
No. He just teaches you to like be yourself.
That's big. That's big.
That is big.
Yeah.
So what is something? What is one of the biggest lessons you've learned in this first month of school?
I love the mentorships that he teaches us. It's like it's not all about just cutting hair. It's
Right.
about your clients. It's about taking care of yourself. Pretty much like the back of being a barber, and yeah, like pretty much like just the mentorship. I love the mentorship. He's always giving us advice to be a better person for ourselves and be a better person for our clients and our surroundings.
And that's good. Like I tell people sometimes, you get more with honey than you get with vinegar. You know what I mean? So be a good human being. Smile.
Yeah.
Embrace the moment. Enjoy what you're doing. And I just congratulate Papito because it seems like he's doing a really great job with you guys. What are some of the? I know it's good. It's rosy. It's fun. What is some of the most? What do you struggle with in the first month?
Right now I'm struggling with shear work.
Shear work is.
Work, yes.
See, I didn't want to learn the shears when I was in school because I didn't think it was going to be that much of a difference. But I'll tell you right now, if learning the shears makes your hair like it takes the cut to a whole different level because you get the phase down, and then the skill with shears is so much more. it requires a lot more skill with shears than it does with clippers, because there's angles, you gotta like there's contour, you gotta know the contour of people's heads. Like there's just 1,000 different things you gotta know what to do
It's gonna make you
in
all
order
around.
for you to do a certain hairstyle.
It's gonna make you all
So
around
if
better barber.
yeah, but if you can master that, gosh,
And it's
it's
okay.
crazy.
And the part of you saying that you struggle with that is important, because a lot of students don't think that they're gonna struggle. It's okay to admit and say you struggle, because once you can identify and say that you're struggling at something, you know what your weaknesses are, so it's time to work on it. But if you try to evade it and push it to the side and not face it, how are you gonna get better at it? So I mean, I admire you saying that. Yeah, I struggle with shares, and it's okay, because you're in your first month. Are you gonna get better? Of course. Are you gonna be able to boss this thing out? Hell yeah. It's gonna be an afterthought, and which is okay. Most people don't realize that. Do you have? Are there any students down at the school who compare themselves to other students? And if so, how do you help them?
From
Students who
what
get frustrated and at times saying, "Well, I'm not learning. It's taking a hard time to pick it up." How do you help students who are in that situation?
I would pretty much like when a walk-in comes in, and they would have like the newer students go over there and hook them up with a haircut. But like with some of the students, they need help with fading,
Right.
and I know someone on fading too, so I would go over there and help them, like open your clipper, close it, and I love it. Like I love helping everyone out there.
Because sometimes some students come in and they're so nervous. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
it seemed like you came in and you had a lot of confidence and you was good because you was ready to do this. But some students, I'm pretty sure you have noticed, they come in and they're so nervous and they get up, they tight, and they just want to be so perfect in their first week, their first
yeah,
2 weeks, their first 2 months. And I know you see that all the time. So it's important to kind of always kind of be that mentor for that student who just coming in, because each one of us was in that same position once before, coming in at 0 hours, and now we're at 150 hours or at 200 hours. So it's important to be that mentor and give some good feedback. Just give some confidence. Just give some advice, because confidence goes a long way, as you know.
yes.
Good, good. So for you now, what has been some of the biggest lessons you have learned in this first, not just first month, but since you've been in this, since you've created this love for this industry that has been burning inside of you?
Um, for me, well, it's clientele. Um, right now I don't have that many clientele, so I just take walk-ins, and that's kind of the issue for me, because I'm not from around the Fort Worth area,
Right.
so it's hard for me to go out there and find clients. But I'm getting up my social media, my Instagram. I'm following try to follow people and have them follow me back, or find other like barbers around the area and try to get my name out there, and posting stuff on my car, like flyers and stuff. So that's
So,
kind of my problem right now, is my clientele.
but think about it. Is that really a problem since you just started school?
No, no,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's just a process. It just takes time.
yeah.
And you want to say something, Jordan?
I say, but doing that now while you're in school, trying to build your clientele while you're in school, is going to help you tremendously once you get out. Because a lot of people, they don't try to put themselves out there when they're in school because they're too scared of getting people in, because they don't believe that they're going to do good. But doing that early really gives you a really good head start as soon as you leave the school, because you're going to get in the shop. If you got like 20 clients, you don't even have to be like a whole bunch, but if you got like 15, 20 clients when you get out the shop, or get out of school and get into the shop, I mean, you're gonna be at least probably doing at least 4, maybe, 3 or 4 every other day or something like that. Just kind of get you a good start in. It helps out a lot.
And think about it. How many hours is it to finish school in Texas? Is it 1,500 or 1,100?
1,500.
So
more than enough time.
So you have plenty of time. So you're thinking about you're in school now for a month, and one of the key issues that you identify a weakness is building clientele. So that's something you have to continuously work on and understand the things that you're doing right now. You're going to get there because 1,500 hours is typically about 10 and a half, 11 months. You're in month 1 and you're doing a lot of great things. You're loving what you do. You're smiling every day. You're showing up to school every day. You have a great attitude. It's only up from here. It's only up. And I can bet you this, with your attitude and how you go and how you're approaching this, those instructors, they can't wait for you to come to school, and they're going to do their best to put you in the best possible position to succeed. Because instructors notice the students who give their all. They notice the students who come with a good attitude. They notice the students who don't complain. They notice the students who is going to need a little bit more tutoring, need a little bit more mentoring. They notice that. And I'm pretty sure they're watching and they notice you and they just appreciate you coming in there with a smile every day and wanting to give your best to the school because you're the type of students who's going to represent the school so well. And I guarantee you, your instructors notice that. I mean, because you have a great attitude about things. How have you grown and changed since you decided that you want to be a barber?
Oh my gosh, I changed a lot. Even my wife sees it too. She sees me dressing up nice and feeling myself because the people there too, just the ambience around there being at barber school, and it does make me feel like I'm successful. And way the instructors talk to you, they talk to you like a person, not just throw you out there to the wolves and whatnot. But I think I've grown a lot within this month being at barber school. I'm starting to learn more about the book because I was having a lot of trouble in the book also. Like I didn't know that there was so many things that are especially like with your muscles and your
Right.
everything. Like it's like wow. I mean,
Yeah, the theory is the most important part of school. The theory is the most important. That book is important. That book, I can't
yes,
express how important that book is. And again, make it into a game, make it fun, and read that textbook to not just to remember, but to retain the information. Because those are the things in the textbook that's going to help you have a great consultation. The things in the textbook are going to be able to put you in position where you sound like a real professional, like you're really invested in this craft. Because you'll be able to explain and tell people what you're studying, what the porosity is, what the texture is, what the density is, the muscles of the neck, the muscles of the forehead, the head, the temporal bone, the apex, the occipital bone, the parietal ridge, the zygomatic bone, the temporal, all that stuff
yeah,
that we talk about in the textbook. That once you start talking to clients and showing them that you're invested in this industry and in your craft, that's when they take you serious. So I mean, it's important that you're saying it, and I like that you're saying that. Hey, the textbook, I'm struggling with the textbook. I'm struggling with building clientele. All those things are things that you're on track. You are normal. All those things are things that happen for students who are just starting in the school. J Bar?
It might kind of remind me of myself because I was really invested into the book when I first started,
mm,
and after a while, I was, you say you always ask people to cut their hair and stuff like that.
yeah,
I got to the point where I was in school where I felt like I was almost booked out every day. So I would have time in between, kind of a little bit to kind of get into the book, but as I went on, I kind of just kept on cutting and cutting and cutting, and then once I got out of school, I kind of regretted not taking that time and learning the book as I should have.
mm,
But I mean, I guess I was really more pushing towards the clientele and getting my fades and stuff like working right, which I mean, everybody has their own way of, going about things. And
Yeah.
now that I'm out, I'm having to go kind of relearn everything a little bit, like from hair color and all this type of stuff, which is actually, I think it was fun for me because I'm taking one step at a time, just making everything perfect one step at a time, just taking along. And then I can't, it's just,
It's a process.
yeah, it's a process. Like it's,
And understand
yeah,
you need to pace yourself as a student.
yeah. I feel like it's just a sense of maturity for me because I feel like I didn't take the book serious. So if you take the book serious now, later on you won't pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's good. So as you're in school right now and you are a senior 1 month student with all this experience, how would you have approached it differently coming into school? What kind of advice can you give someone who had that burning passion, who cut hair when they're 13? They went through some trials and tribulations as they started getting older. There were some roadblocks that they ran into, but they knew they wanted to cut hair because someone inspired them. What kind of advice would you give someone right now in your shoes? What can you say to them?
I would say go for it. Life is too short to waste. Do something that you love doing, something that you enjoy. Follow your dreams and just go for it.
And that's big because people always hear a lot of times, you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna make money in barbering. It's not, and you're like, and sometimes that evil twin on the other side of your head is kind of playing games with you, with your passion and your why. And on the right side, you're like, well, I love this. This is my passion, but I keep hearing someone saying to me that you're not gonna make money. Barbers and beauticians, they blah blah blah, this and that, this, that, and the third. They don't, you know what I mean? So sometimes it
Yeah.
is discouraging when you hear all of that. How can you give someone that extra icing on the cake to be like, hey, it's worth it?
Um, I mean, like for me, how it started was I would listen to podcasts, and and yes, but I tell everybody that I think podcasts saved my life.
Mm,
It helped me grow to be the person I am today, and I would listen like when I was in my lower days, like I would just sit there and watch TV, Netflix, TikTok. Like I didn't have anything going on in my life, and then I started watching Jeff Logan's on YouTube because I was into lifting weights and stuff, and
mhm.
I heard that he had a podcast. So I started listening to it and I started, like hearing what he was saying. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start, not giving a F what people say about me because I was that kind of person. I was scared to talk to people. I was scared to say excuse me to people and just go around. Like I was afraid. But ever since I started listening to podcasts and I came across your podcast and I heard it, I hear you guys talking about stories and how like I relate to you guys. Like they're just like me, and I'm like, why not? Why can't I do that too?
Right, big, big. So the next question: How did you come across our podcast, and how long have you been listening?
I came across your podcast probably like a couple of years ago. I was trying to find like what can I do for barbering? Like, do they have a barber podcast out there? So I started looking at all these different barber podcasts, and then I heard yours about the female barbers. That's what got me.
I
I
got you
said,
hooked.
yes, that got me hooked. So I would like catch up to all the podcasts that you guys would do. I would catch up and then wait like every Friday for another one to come out. But I love it. Like I love hearing the student stories also because it's like I put myself in their shoes and they're just like me too.
I mean, that's important. we are just like you, and a lot of times people, things are so out of reach sometimes, and things are not tangible enough for people to touch and feel it, and it seems so far-fetched. But when you hear something or see something that's going to help give you that energy to wake up and just be alive, it's important to kind of stay with it. And I appreciate that we could do that for you, Raquel, because that's what the podcast is about. We hope to touch
Thank
people
you.
and inspire people, let them know, hey, we are just like you. We
Yes.
we want to forward this industry. We want to let people know that, hey, it's important. It's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay, and I'm talking about the mental health aspect, because we talk about too in our podcast. I don't know if you heard it, listen to the one about mental health yet, but a lot of people don't realize that they go through life and having to feel this expectation where it's difficult to feel. And hearing someone tell you it's okay to not be okay when you're having it's okay to have a down day mentally. It's okay to take some time for yourself. And again, that's what we hope to fulfill with this podcast. It's not just about cutting hair. It's about the whole being. It's about the well-being of someone and making sure that they are a whole person when they get into this industry, when they get into a shop. And whatever they want to be, whether it's an instructor, a barber, a shop owner, a school owner, whatever it may be, hopefully you can hear something on our podcast from myself, Jordan, and Am I that's going to put you in a position to be like, you know what, man, them guys are just like me.
Is that having that positive mental really helps a lot, like in this industry, because when people are around you, they can feel how you are. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some people you can tell you by they walk in, they look all down and depressed, and you're like, dang man, this dude.
Yeah.
But he don't look,
Yeah.
he don't look too good, But you saw some people, they feel like they got the aura about them that they're always happy and confident and positive, and that's gonna also help you in your barbering career so much. You're gonna meet great people, have great clients. You're gonna build your clientele. Like, just gonna have everything around you is gonna be based off how you have yourself. So if you have yourself great and your mind great and all that, and everything is going to fall into place.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. What surprised you most about this industry? What gives you like that? Oh man, what surprised you about this industry since you've been
Oh,
into?
oh my gosh, I love like seeing the other person when you give them a haircut and just the way they look themselves in the mirror, and it changed like just to see that smile on their face. That's what I love. I love making people feel good. I love making people's day just by the way they look. And if
That's,
you
that's,
look good, you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
yes, man. That's
Yeah.
big. That's big. That's big. Do you cut your wife's hair?
Oh my gosh. I tried it one time and I chopped it up. Like
Let's-
chopped it up. And, yeah, and so she had to tie up her hair most of the time. I'm like, it's okay, it'll grow back.
Hey, I guarantee you, right? And we'll talk again because we're gonna get you back on this podcast. I guarantee you, by the time you're finished with school, you're gonna be so confident to cut her hair. She's gonna want you to cut her hair probably every other week. So, I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah,
Everybody has that one person that you mess up at least once, and then they're going to give you another chance, and then you're going to hook them up. They're going to be, oh, man, I can get free haircuts for the rest of my life.
yeah, and that's a good thing. Is your wife in the industry as well?
No, no. She's just my big supporter.
That's good. And again,
Yes.
we underestimate just having a great person in our corner to support us. That is big in this industry. That's big when we go into school, because there are going to be some times where students kind of question themselves when they're in school, like, man, because as you get going, the instructors, they can't throw everything at you right now. They're throwing so much at you, but it comes in phases. And as you get into the school month 2 and 3, you'll start seeing that you have some success. Then you will regress a little bit. Then some things are going to frustrate you. That's just part of it. But the key is you just got to keep on going, Raquel. Just keep on going. Keep churning. You got to keep on going, because again, you found your why. You found your passion. I could tell by the smile on your face. And I even tell by the first time we spoke and the first time you contacted me about coming on this podcast. You found your why and you're happy about this. Yeah. So talk about just contacting us and wanting to get on this podcast. You say you're a shy person. You try to avoid certain things. How did that come up and be like, I'm calling them, I'm contacting them? How did that come up?
All right, yeah. One morning I woke up and I was listening to a podcast because I listen to your podcast when I work out. And then I started hearing your student stories. And then I sat down and I was thinking, I was like, should I email him or how can I get a hold of him and ask him if I could be on his podcast? And I was like, you know what? Might as well try it. Like, just do it. Like, if he doesn't get back to you, it's fine. I mean, as long as you do it and go for it. So I did, and I contacted you, and I was so surprised that you got back to me that same day. I was like, I told my wife, I was like, he wrote me back. I was like, because a lot of people out there, when you write them, they'll have like just like a message they'll send to everybody.
Automated response.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, wow. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so happy. I was like, I'm gonna be on a podcast. I was like, I'm talking to Craig right now. He's text messaging me, but I don't know, something in me just said, you know what, just contact him. It's like, just do it. So I did, and I was surprised that you wrote back to me and contact me and everything. I was like, wow.
Well, again, we all are in the same boat, and we all are in a position to inspire. And I know sometimes some people think they're just too big and just too broad to just get back to someone, to inspire someone. And our goal is each one teach one, because everybody is trying to get their piece of this pie. Everybody's trying to get their piece of clarity in life. And it's almost selfish sometimes if we could make someone day that we don't do it. And it's as simple as sending back an email that someone email you, just a text, a phone call, because one of the key things for me, Raquel, is my 60 seconds is just as important as yours. Your 60 seconds is just as important as mine. My minute is just as important as your minute. Yours as well, vice versa. And we can go on for like your day is just as important as mine. My day is just as important as yours. So if you reach out and we true to what we're saying about this podcast is to give knowledge and to help out and to make people feel at ease, we have to respond when people reach out to us. And I know we don't get to all of them, and we will. We try to get to as much as possible because we get a lot of responses. We get to, I get to as many as I can. And we have someone who handles the social media. We have someone who handles the email. And a lot of time it just dictates on how quick they get it to me. If they get to me as quick as possible, I can return as quick as possible. So I'm happy that I was able to reach out to you and inspire you to just put a smile on your face. That means a lot to myself, Jordan, am I?
It serves our purpose. The reason why we're here is to make people like you help you out and help you grow. That's the reason why we're here.
And for someone to listen to you on this podcast and say, you know what, man, that girl Raquel, she inspired me. I can do this. I mean, it's a cycle, and the cycle can't stop. You know what I mean? So you're going to inspire so many people. You said you on a reservation, or you're from a reservation?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, you know what I mean? There's people out there who's probably thinking like, I'm on this reservation and I want to be a barber. I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But I heard this girl, Raquel, who's a barber. She went through some times in her life, boy, and she didn't get deterred. Yes. She didn't let that stop her from accomplishing her dream and her goals and her why. And that's what it's about. A lot of us sometimes just need that extra push, that extra motivation from someone out there.
Yes.
And that's what the podcast is for, man, just to kind of give people that. I mean, we're worldwide. We're top 3 in this country. I know a lot of people listen to us, but it's also to give good information, let them know, hey, we care about you too as well, because I wish I had something like this when I started barbering years ago, just to hear someone's voice and inspired. But through our channels and how information gets to you so quicker, I mean, I applaud you. I applaud what we do. And this is great, man. What do you think, Jordan?
It's always great to be here, man. I love being here. I love talking to students. I love talking to anybody that we have on here. It's nice to be able to express the love that we have for this industry, and um, I'm glad that I can help out you or anybody that's listening right now. So I appreciate you guys listening to us. As always.
And shout out to your instructors, man. And give your instructors, call them by their name and shout out. Tell me something that you like about your instructors, because they're gonna be listening. Say something that just shout them out. Say their name, first full name, and say, "Hey, man, this is blah blah blah. This is what I like about them. This is what I've learned from them, and I just thank you for inspiring me. And I hope you can just say something."
Yeah, shout out to Johnny Witz, is Mr. Witz. He's one of the best hands-on, and he teaches the book very well. And I just love how they carry. I love the way he carries himself too. He's a real cool dude.
How has he inspired you? What is one thing that he says every day that sticks in your mind?
Um, for me, is his personality. Like he carries himself so well, but like underneath all that that nice suit and everything, he's a real laid, cool dude. Like he's funny. Just just feeling his just feeling him around me, like watching him teach and everything is like I love being around him too. Like watching him teach, like he teaches really good. Like sometimes I would like look like, oh, how do I get this line out? And he'll tell me, he'll teach me. Like I don't know, he's just a great teacher.
And his name is Mr. Johnny Witz.
Yes, Mr. Johnny Woods.
And what about
Papito?
the other? Yes.
Well,
What do you like about Papito? Just give him a shout, because it's good to hear from students how you're perceived. And I think it's important for him to know that, hey, man, you're on the right track. You're doing good, and I love what you're doing. That's good. That will motivate him to just keep doing what he's doing, because, and he's doing a great job. But it's just good to hear from the students, hey, Mr. Papito, I appreciate you. Thank you.
yes, Mr. Papito. I appreciate you, Mr. Papito, for taking me in and being under your wing and teaching me everything that y'all know. And you're a really cool dude. Like, I love how you carry yourself. And he's the type of dude that just says straight out, like, whatever is on his mind, he'll speak it.
So what do you hear him saying right now? When you're in the class, when you're in school, what is something that you hear him saying consistently over and over again?
Let me see. He'll be like, right, or like, I don't know. He's just a cool dude. Like,
As instructors, we have quotes. Do they have any quotes that stand out to you?
any quotes? Not that I know so far.
I'm pretty sure he'll say something to you, and you're like, yes, I can hear Mr. Papito saying this every day.
He would probably say, just do it.
And that's good.
That would be mine.
just
That
do
would
it.
definitely be mine. But just do it.
That's good. That's big. Man, again, shout out to those guys. I know that they're doing an awesome job with you, and that's important, man. That is so important to go somewhere that you just absolutely love, because again, education is key. Education changes situation, and when you make learning fun, you make students want to just incorporate and just want to add to it. So have you ever thought about being an instructor one day?
Yes, I want to be an instructor one day. I want to be an educator. I also want to have my own barbershop one day and just keep building and building and building and see how
So
far that takes me.
knowing what you've learned from those two great instructors, what kind of instructor are you going to be?
I want to be a little bit of both of them.
So you got to come with your notepad and be on their hip now.
Yeah. I'm going to
You got to
record
be on their
everything.
hip.
Take little tiny pieces from both of them, incorporate into yourself.
Because it's
Yeah.
important, because a lot of we need instructors, because that's one of the toughest things to get is barber instructors, just instructors on the whole. And it's good sometimes when students they see that passion, it develops in them, and say, you know what, I want to be an instructor. I love that when students say that in school, because everyone is not meant to be a barber. I mean, some people can go to school for go to barber school, go to cosmetology school, but come on and they see that their passion is in teaching. And I think that is great. And I'm not diminishing that everyone should go out there and at least try to be in a shop. Just learn how to cut, even just 1 day a week while you're teaching, but it makes instructors' hearts smile when students say, you know what? I want to be an instructor. I want to add something to this industry. Because I think we all have a place of somewhere where we can give back.
That's always something I always wanted to do. I felt like I would be a good teacher. It was something that was always in the back of my mind, but I felt like I had to be out in the field for a couple of years before I could be a teacher.
And that's cool, and that's cool too, and I applaud that. But even if you like when you graduate, Raquel, just even like a couple hours to volunteer, that will prepare you and give you the skill set to see what it is to be an instructor. Help you prepare, because those guys, is certain things, so many things that's behind the scene, how hard those guys work and instructors around the country, around the world works, that a lot of people and students don't realize. You know what I mean? Because you see at the surface and we smile and we make it look easy. We dress up every day, but there's lesson planning, there's recruiting, there's just making sure the overall facility is in good shape, and all these rules and regulations that we have to follow. Someone has to follow up on those things, having meetings with the state board and regulatory agencies just to make things go. And it can be, but it's fulfilling because our whole purpose is to give back, to make sure the students transition and their education is smooth. And sometimes that goes unnoticed. But I'm happy that's one of the first things you said. You highlighted your instructors. It's like, we have some awesome instructors. And that's great, man. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy for that. What do you think, Jay?
People don't understand how important having a great instructor is when you're doing something that's going to be the part of your life that you want to be part of your life. And having a bad or a great instructor can really make it or break it for you, because they can really change your mindset on things. Like, man, this dude's not helping me. He's not like I'm not learning anything. Like, sometimes you just got to take that initiative and do it, you do your thing in there. But sometimes when you have that instructor that's a great instructor and wants to help you and help you grow, it makes it so much easier through that process in school. So you won't be, it kind of keeps you on a one-track mind going straight forward.
And for the students out there who feel like they're in a situation where they're not learning, you have to reflect on yourself. You have to look in the mirror and see if some of the reasons why you're not learning is something that you're doing. Because a lot of students sabotage themselves and say they're not learning and put it back on the instructors, but realistically it's them. They don't show up early. They don't study when they go home. They have a bad attitude in school. They expect to just grab the skill in a month. They expect to be the best possible barber in 2 weeks. They think that their haircut should be just as good as the next barber who's been out in the industry for 20 years. And it's a process. So you have to have some self-reflect to yourself too before you start putting blames on instructors. Because I firmly believe if you're in this industry as an instructor going in a barber school, especially cosmetology school, this is something you love. You want to give back. You want to hone another potential person in this industry skill. And sometimes that gets unnoticed because a lot of students, I'm not learning. Give yourself some time to learn. Give yourself opportunity to learn. Get proper rest.
I say it's okay I wouldn't say it's 100% bad to try to compare yourself to people, because it kind of gives you an idea of what you want to be like.
For sure.
Because
sure.
I had people when I did have a time when I was in school where I was like, man, Craig will come in or Emma and they'll do a freaking haircut, and I'm like, why can I not get it to look like that? And I'm like, and it would make me mad. But Craig would always say, "But Jordan, you just gotta give it some time, and you go get it." And I'll be like, all right. And I just kept on still practicing the repetition and asking questions. It's important to ask questions in school, because a lot of people, they always sit back and they're wondering why they're not learning this, but they're not asking the question. you got to ask the question. You got to put the effort
You
into
got to participate.
you got in order like to, if you want to learn something, you got to put the effort into it too. You ain't gonna just be given to you. Like it's just, like if you want to be great, man, it's gonna take some time. Like it's not just gonna be off the rip. Like it's gonna take a lot of dedication and sacrifice. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Not everything's gonna be given to you.
That's big, big. So you ready to be this overnight celebrity, Raquel? Because you know you're gonna have a lot of people calling you, hitting you up, man. You're gonna have students wondering, like, man, how'd she get on this podcast? So I just reached out.
I just reached out.
And I said, and sometimes again, you just have to have the courage to say, I need help. Just have the courage to reach out because people out there willing to help you. People out there willing to help you, and you can't be afraid of hearing no. It's okay. No doesn't mean that the person is bad, that the person don't like you. It just might mean that not at this moment, not at this time. You know what I mean? And it might not be a good mix and match for you. So you have to give yourself some time and don't be afraid to hear no. Yep. So what do you think of the podcast today, Raquel? I mean, I know we've been on it. It seems like we've been on it for about 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, it does. Like it went by pretty fast.
What do you think? How were you a little nervous coming on today?
Yes, I was a little bit nervous, to be honest. I was. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I mess up saying something wrong or
No.
I don't know.
You should have seen my first time on here. I was on here sweating bullets. My face was red. Quake was asking me questions. He was like, what do you think, Jordan? I'm like, I don't know.
It's all good, man. So I know all good things gotta come to an end, but I appreciate you reaching out. What is one of the last things that you want to say to a prospective student out there, someone in school? What is a word of advice you can give to them?
Don't give up. Keep pushing and pushing and don't give up.
That's big. That's big. And what's your Instagram? Where can we find you? And we're gonna get some walk-in clients to you. Where can people find you out in Fort Worth, Texas? Where are you at? And how can they reach you?
My Instagram is REZKID_THEBARBER at IG. Facebook, Rez Kid the Barber. TikTok at Raquel Henry.
Yeah, go show Raquel some love, man. I mean, go ahead and flood her chair up. Give her some walking. I know she'll appreciate it.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Jay, what you think about this podcast today? I know you love the student stories.
Because I can relate to him so much. I've only been cutting hair for 2 years now, but it's always a good time being here and helping people. And I appreciate you coming on and taking that step to be on here so you can talk to us. It was nice meeting you. I appreciate you being on here. I feel like you're going to be an amazing barber. Just keep on having the mindset and pushing to be great, and I'm sure you'll be the right place where you want to be.
That's big. Again, I appreciate you, Raquel. I appreciate you reaching out. And again, this is what I love to do. This is what Jordan and this is what we love to do. Just kind of, this is our platform. I look forward to Mondays. And I love hearing the student stories too. I love hearing barber stories because I think it's big for people around the country and around the world to hear that we all are in the same boat. We started in the same. We just kind of taking some different directions to get there, but a lot of our stories are the same. It's okay. Just don't give up and give your all because this is a wonderful industry. This is a great industry. And hopefully one day we will cross paths. We might have a Barber College Success reunion, have all the guests come together and just, you know what I mean? That's
one big...
yeah, we all going to do something in East Tennessee, have everybody come in and be like, hey, it's going to be a year from now. All the guests come in, we have a cookout and just rap and just vibe and see like, man, you was on the podcast.
That'd be dope.
You know what I mean? Just do something.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
So get ready to travel, Raquel. It's coming. We're gonna plan that soon. We're also gonna have a series of working on a series of books for Barber College Success. We're gonna do about like every 10 podcasts and do a book and do an episode and just and put information out there just to give to people, let them know that, hey, everybody started the same way. Because again, information changes situation. But I just appreciate you and I just thank you for being you, who you are, and just telling your story and tell your wonderful instructors out there. We'll reach out to them. We can try and get them on on the podcast and just vibe, because I know they will they have a lot to say, and just to kind of let people know where they are, who they are, and how they teach, because I think it's important too for instructors to be on it and just let people know, hey, we love what we do. Sometimes some of us get a bad rap, but it's okay. What's your lasting words, Jordan?
My always lasting words. Live life, have fun, go be great. Don't be scared to fail. So that's my big four right there.
Yes, sir. And tell all your friends out there, everyone at the school, follow, share the episode. The episode is not going to come out this Friday. Your episode is going to come out the next Friday. That's what we do. So tell you're gonna get a whole lot of new fans too. Tell your friends, family to come check you out on Spotify, whatever major podcast platform they have out there, Apple, Google, Rocket. We're on there. And again, we're in top 5 countries that we're in the U.S.
Was it the UK?
UK.
I don't know. Australia. You got to put Madagascar in there. I don't know.
Canada. And with Austria. And then, and my favorite spot, Madagascar.
Yeah, Madagascar.
Shout out for MI. Yes, but appreciate you again. And again, Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cutz Academy, JC, Crown Cutz Academy, Bristol, Craig's Crown Cutz, downtown, JC, spreading love the Tri-City way. Hold on. Spreading love the Crown Cutz way is the only way. That's how we do it. Each one teach one. We're going to connect one barber at a time across the country, across the world. We're just going to connect. We're going to make this thing do what it do.
Make it rock.
Make it rock. One love as always. Again. Raquel, thanks again, man. It was a pleasure. And what days do you go to school?
Tuesday through Saturday.
And what are your hours? Full-time, part-time?
Full-time.
Man, how many students at the school?
Well, the school just barely opened in August.
Okay,
so
good.
We probably have about, say, like 15.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we're gonna send some energy and some vibe down there to Bless Hands Papita and let them know, hey, go check them out. I mean, I'm happy that the instructor's doing a great thing. You talk real highly of them, so I wouldn't doubt that they will have a problem bringing students in. So I admire that. And tell those guys, hopefully we can get them on here soon. And if they're open, let them know it'll be on a Monday. Okay. And if you can give them my number so we can text back and forth, that would be great. And let them know, hey, I'm looking forward to them being on there. And we'll set something up with them in the next couple of days. Or I know their schedule is also busy. So do they still cut hair in the shop as well, both of them?
Yeah, they're at the school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Mr. Witt's there through the whole week. Papito, he's there like every week.
Okay, good. Shout out, big. Again, thank you, and hope you have a great weekend, a great week. And hey, man, enjoy school, man. Enjoy school and boss it out.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys for having me a lot. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yes, man. I know MI. He's hated that he can't. He had to miss it, but I'm pretty sure he was. We'll let him know about the episode.
Emma's the energy, man. He brings the energy here.
Yes, ma'am. Well, check it out. I'll talk to you, and we'll text. Stay in touch. You have my number. Yes, if you have any questions, always hit me up. Yes, always hit me a text. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got my number. I'll text you periodically. Just say hello, see how you're doing. But any questions you have about the industry,
yes, sir.
Let me know. Check it out.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you, man.
Have a good one.
You have a good day.
Bye.